So, Lone Rider here, and I just wanted to share something briefly that occurred to me about the Green New Deal the incoming Democrats are talking about and harping on. And that is this. In order to implement their policies, as ridiculous as some of them seem, the whole idea of having completely renewable energy sources inside of 11 years, it just doesn't seem physically possible. But be that as it may, ridiculous or otherwise, in order to try and implement these proposals, what you would have to do is establish the bureaucracy and the legal and moral precedent in this country of top-down government dictates. You'd have to basically create a Soviet-style command economy. That's the only way you're going to regulate whole industries and whole swaths of Americans' personal lives enough to be able to tell them how they get their energy, how they produce their energy, what jobs they can and can't work in, what vehicles they can drive or not drive, etc. At a certain point, you're going to have to essentially undermine the Constitution. You're going to have to give the government vast, new, scary powers, and I guess just trust that they'll only use them to save the planet. Yeah, I don't see that happening. So basically, the downside to the so-called Green New Deal is that, it's not looking very green at all. It's looking kind of red, right? Red in sort of a Stalinist kind of way. And I don't want to throw out the word communism, but I'll say this. Do we want a top-down command-style economy in the United States? Because whether you're willing to use the word communism or not, what that would definitely give you is essentially a dictatorship. And I don't know about you, I don't want to be living under a dictatorship. And I'd like to think that even the Democrats wouldn't either. So whenever you hear talk about people, oh, this person supports the so-called Green New Deal, this person supports the so-called Green New Deal, don't just keep in mind their talking points and their so-called environmental goals. Keep in mind what they're actually supporting, which is the setting up of a command economy in the United States and the government power necessary to enforce it. That's what they're really talking about when they're talking about their Green New Deal. And look, I'm a bicyclist. I spend a lot of time outdoors. I appreciate the natural world. But I'm also a human being, and I appreciate my freedom. And I don't appreciate people being this cavalier about violating it under numerous vile and vicious pretexts. So you can take your Green New Deal and, put it somewhere where your solar cells won't get any juice. Lone Rider out.